Oh, did you see the announcement that they named a new Three Musketeers?
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Go on.
Are they named...
So, do you know the original three, first of all?
What was it? It was Muto, Hashimoto, and someone else?
I'll double check that.
It was Muto, Chono, and I think Hashimoto.
Yeah, do you know the new Three Musketeers in New Japan? The second generation? Not the newest ones.
It was Tanahashi, Shibata, and someone else.
Tanahashi, Shibata, Nakamura.
Nakamura, of course.
Okay, the original three, Keiji Muto, Masahiro Chono, and Hashimoto.
Yep, cool. I nailed that one.
And then we've got the newest three.
Yeah, and that is that's Shooter, Suji, and who the fuck's the other one?
I know he's forgettable.
Red Narita?
Very good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's someone that it's someone who's very Shibata-esque.
Yeah.
That fits the I wrestle good, but I've got no personality, but no personality is my personality. Yeah.
So you had the Three Musketeers, Muto, Chono, Hashimoto, the new Three Musketeers, Tanahashi, Shibata, Nakamura, the Renwa? It's named after the current Emperor of New Japan, Three Musketeers, Narita, Uno, and Tsuji.
Yeah, so the timing of naming this, and this is why I brought it up, talking about G1 predictions, makes me think that one of those three is going to win it.
Yeah, I think...
And I think if it's going to be any of them, I think... You know what? Like, Tsuji wouldn't be bad, but I think it should be Shooter.
That's my pick out of the Three Musketeers.
Yeah, he is Tanahashi.
This ring gear matches a Tanahashi, doesn't it?
Hey? Yeah, it is. It's just pink.
Current ring gear.
It's pink Tanahashi.
Yeah.
And like, Narita's very Shibata. And I guess he wears leather pants. I mean, Tsuji's fucking Nakamura.
Yeah.
And he's the one in the Rebel stable. So,
which is what Chaos was originally when Nakamura founded it. It wasn't a face stable.
Yeah, exactly. So, they've just gone flat out with that. And then I'm looking at that version of the Three Musketeers, the previous generation, like try to compare them. I guess Nakamura was very Chono.
Nakamura is Chono.
But like,
Shibata or Tanahashi?
Then Tanahashi's Muto.
Yeah.
And then Shibata is the badass that can wrestle, like Hashimoto. But you could also like compare Nakamura to Muto as well. So, but it was Muto, not Muta. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
Muto wore bright colors, was consummate white meat baby face.
To me, I'd say Muto, Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Shibata is Chono and Nakamura as Hashimoto.
Hashimoto wore the red and black.
Also true, yes.
Yeah. I could say that. I could see Nakamura being all three of them. Honestly, there's an argument. Like the kicks, like Chono, and the leather pants, the red and black like Hashimoto and the ability to go. And then, you know, if they listed Great Muta as a Three Musketeer, not Keiji Muto, yeah, Nakamura's all over that shit.
I suppose closing off our discussion here, Ren Narita, who was he most like compared to the three original Musketeers?
To the three original.
Yes.
Oh,
just
fuck.
for a bit of fun.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough. Because, okay, Tsuji is 100% Chono. Taller guy, leather pants, fucking all that. Does kicks. I guess by default, Narita is Hashimoto.
Yeah.
And Shooter is Keiji Muto.
So,
because you got to remember, as I keep repeating, like it's not Great Muto, it's Keiji Muto.
So, Keiji Muto, I'd say Shota Umino.
Yeah.
Yoda Tsuji.
There's a bit of fucking Chono about how Tsuji moves in the ring. But
yeah.
There's also a bit of Hashimoto about him too.
So I'd say Tsuji for Hashimoto, and for Masahiro Chono, I'd say Ren Narita.
Yeah. Yeah, can't argue that. Here's the thing though.
Yeah.
Here's another hypothetical. It feels like we skipped a generation between Musketeers.
Yeah.
If you were to name a Three Musketeers from the previous generation between, you know, Tanahashi, Nakamura, and Shibata, and now, who are you naming?
Oh man. So one of them's Okada.
1,000%. Yeah, he fills the Mudo fucking Tanahashi fucking Shooter Umino role.
One of them would be Tatsuya Naito.
Yeah, and I think that fills the Chono Nakamura role.
Oh, who would be my third musketeer from that sort of era of New Japan?
Now,
that is tough.
Yeah, because like it's also always like it's New Japan guys. It's like their guys that they raised.
Yeah.
So like part of me is like, oh, Ibushi. But no, they would never have made Ibushi a musketeer because they didn't make Ibushi.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, because like Ibushi would fit a fucking Shibata style role. Who the fuck else? Like
I know, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, like
I've got G1 open here. Let's scroll back to what year do you want me to scroll back to? 2010, 2009, what?
Like it would have to be like between like 2012 and 2022.
Okay, 2012. Nagata would be too old. Toyi Makabe?
Nah, because he was more so from that second Three Musketeer generation too.
Marufuji? More Noah?
Yeah, more Noah. Like Tenzan maybe, but he was sort of that second generation. Yeah.
Next year.
I mean, Goto kind of fits the fucking Hashimoto Shibata role.
Like, he does, yeah.
Yeah, Goto kind of fits that mold.
And he did team with Shibata for a long time.
And it's not like every member of the Three Musketeers has to have been a world champ or some shit. Because Shibata didn't.
No, Shibata didn't.
Chono did. Muto.
Hashimoto?
I'm pretty. Yeah, Hashimoto did because when they play that video before the title matches, you see his face.
When they used to.
Oh, they don't do that anymore, do they?
No, because they got the new lineage.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
So, what did we say? We said Okada, Naito, Goto.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good one. As much as my thoughts on Goto, but I'm trying to be realistic here. It had to have been like a New Japan guy,
and it can't be a foreigner.
No, it's not a foreigner. Because if it was a foreigner, you'd be like, all right, Kenny.
Kenny or Prince Devitt.
Or Prince Devitt, or fucking, who would be a good fucking successor to Shibata? Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay. Let's do a modern take on Three Musketeers. Let's do between where the hell was I? Between generations, so of the 2000s to now, 3 Gaijin Musketeers who have spent the majority of their career or who've come through as young boys through the dojo.
Jay White.
Okay, that's a really good shout, Jay White. Yep.
Jay White, 100%. Jay White, possible shout for the missed generation of 3 Musketeers, to be honest.
Yep.
Just, who else has been? Oh, Devitt.
Yep.
He came through the system. Yeah, Devitt came through the system. This is where it gets tricky because Kenny didn't come through the system.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Did Zach? He didn't.
I'm pretty sure Zach spent a large amount of his time in Rev Pro in the UK.
Yeah, Zach didn't. It's easy to name 2.
I mean, does somebody like a Bad Luck Fale fall into that third?
Well, I was about to throw out a name here, and kind of controversial, but Carl Anderson, he came through the system.
Okay, hang on. He would have been in the system the same time as Devitt.
Like, Carl Anderson's talked about, because I used to listen to the Talk and Shop podcast, he talked about being a young boy and shit.
That is a really good shout. Yeah, either him or Fale, you could make a good case for your 4th. So,
or Tamatonga.
Okay, so I'd say definite lock on Finn Bella / Fergal Devitt / Prince Bella. Definite lock on Jay White for all that he achieved in New Japan. So you've got your 2 there.
Yeah.
Who would you say is your 3rd then? Those few that we listed. Carl, Fale.
I'm gonna say because of their impact on the scene, I'm going to say Carl Anderson.
Okay. So now we've got our 3. Who do you put where?
Okay.
Prince Bella.
Put him in the Nakamura fucking, Chono-ish role.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But Fergal Devitt, Prince, what am I going to say? Finn Bella.
Yeah.
Good fit for that Chono role.
Yeah, and then you put Carl Anderson in the Hashimoto Shibata role.
Yeah.
Can go, got all that stuff down pat, just not the biggest star, but the workhorse.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
And then, Jay White is the fucking Muto Tanahashi role. It's weird too because we're talking about heels here. So it's like, oh yeah, Jay White is Tanahashi. What? but he's the anti-Tanahashi to the point where he fits the Tanahashi role.
I suppose that's a really good point now that you bring it up, because a lot of his feuding was with Tanahashi.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and like we talked about that misgeneration of musketeers. I was going to say the lost generation. Can't say that. But like we had Okada in that Tanahashi role. Jay White's biggest feuds, Okada and Tanahashi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to do. I love this hypothetical shit. I want to do fucking musketeers for all the companies. All right, quick. Let's work out a WWE one.
Of current generation?
Current, right now.
Oh.
Right now.
The easy option is 3 years ago, you say the Shield.
Yeah, and I'm going to say has to be like the same rules as the Japan thing. Born and bred. Goes through their system. When we get to AEW, we're going to have to like ignore that rule. But
yeah.
So this is where I stand. It's obviously Roman in the top of the Three Musketeer role.
Yep.
In the Tanahashi Muto role. Yeah, and then you go, I'm going to sound a bit biased here, who's been through the system, it's Cody.
Yeah, he did go through that other developmental. I guess if you want to switch out Moxley for Cody,
yeah,
that is a good shout for current people in WWE.
And this is where I go, does Seth count?
I'd say yes, because he did spend a fair amount of time in NXT.
Yeah, but it's like not where he started.
No.
And that's like where Roman started. It's where Cody started in the WWE system. And that's where I say it's Brock.
But I'd argue Brock was like an 0-2.
Yeah. That was like Cena, Brock, Batista.
Oh fuck, that is a really good name.
or like Cena, Brock, Orton.
Who's supposed to be the fourth member of Evolution but never was?
That was
a vignette with him.
That was Mark Jindrak.
That is WCW power plant.
Actually, no, it's 100%. That generation was Cena, Brock, Orton, not Batista, because Batista was never meant to be what he become. Yeah. So, who else is in their system right now? Yeah. So we got Roman, we got Cody. Do you do something crazy here and just go Charlotte Flair?
I mean, why not?
Yeah. Just because Japan was only about the men, because they had only men, doesn't mean, like, if we were to do a Three Musketeers for WWE, that we have to put men in it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So AEW, through the AEW system. And this is where I go, okay, sure, yeah. Does Major League Wrestling count?
According to the courts, it does.
Yeah.
According to Binge, apparently MLW is part of the WWE network, but I digress.
Yeah, because this is where I go fucking MJF, and then I go Britt Baker.
Yeah. And two who were made like superstar level in AEW. Yeah. They were names on the indies.
Yeah, made. Yeah, that's what I'll go off here, because like no one's really fully gone, like, started their career in AEW at this point. Like, Hook has.
Yeah, but he hasn't been there long enough.
No.
Okay, so we've got MJF. I agree with that. We've got Britt Baker. We can lock that one in.
Yeah, and then because I would put MJF in that Jay White spot of the anti-Tanahashi Muto role.
Yep.
And I would put Britt Baker sort of in the like unsung hero sort of role of the Hashimoto, like fucking Shibata. I'm comparing Britt Baker to Shibata here, but okay. So in the fucking Nakamura Chono role, I'm putting Darby.
Yeah, that's a really good point because Darby is a needle mover when he's on. He gets good crowd reactions every time he's on.
Yeah.
He can actually go. He's been a champion before, granted TV champion.
Yeah.
But he can be. And who's current tag champ? Still FTR.
Yeah.
Can we pivot to Darby and Sting before Sting calls it a day, please?
Yeah, please. And do you not think FTR would just like froth over the idea of dropping the belts to Sting? They would love that shit. Honestly.
Tony doesn't book many face-face matches, does he? On those sort of merits, unless it's like a really big occasion.
Yeah, unless it's like a mega dream match.
Or like when Punk came in as a debut against Darby, they were sort of both working face.
Yeah. I mean, the Danielson Hangman stuff was face-face at the time.
Yeah, when it started, that's true too, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other company you want to touch on right now? Or is that sort of...
Oh, man, I could go all day with this. Like, fucking bang, WWF Attitude Era.
Oh, that one's easy. That's... Oh, actually...
No, it isn't, is it?
Okay, so we got Rock.
Yeah, you've got Rock.
Okay. Hunter's out because of his time in WCW.
Yep, Stone Cold's out.
Stone Cold's out because of
WCW,
ECW.
Is Taker in? That's where it's questionable. Because
how long was he in WCW?
I mean, long enough to have, like, I think he did like a year or two. Long enough to have fucking pay-per-view matches against Lex Luger.
Okay.
So, and then you go, all right, how much does the small leagues count? Because if Taker doesn't count, do you go Kane?
Isn't that the Christmas monster?
I mean, yeah, but he started in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but Smoky Mountain Wrestling was always a feeder system for the WWF in the 90s, so technically...
Okay, so we've got Rock and Kane.
Yeah, it's fucking hard, isn't it?
China?
Do you go China? Do you go Trish Stratus?
I mean, if we're talking Attitude Era, China is bigger than Trish.
Yeah. Or, here's an idea. Hardy Boys. Can you have a tag team be a musketeer? Oh, fuck. Okay.
Wait, he's got something else, humans.
This is a really controversial take, but through 100% through the WWF system, where I'm up to, they talk about this guy being one half of the greatest WWF tag teams. Oh, no, not one of the greatest WWF tag team of all time. That's what they call it.
Oh.
So, this is where I say Billy Gunn.
That is a good shout. That is a good shout for Hashimoto role.
Yeah. And then you put Kane in that Chono role.
And that leaves Rock as Muto?
Yeah. WCW is so easy compared to that.
Goldberg?
You do Goldberg, Sting, fucking DDP.
Okay.
That's so easy. See, fucking WWF always talk about, oh, fucking WCW stole all our stars, we built our own. Why is it so easy for us to come up with 3 homegrown WCW stars and so hard for us to come up with 3 homegrown WWF stars from the 90s?
When you really look at it, yes.
Yeah, it's okay. Sure, they turned like low card guys into superstars, but yeah, come on, homegrown ECW. That's relatively easy.
Okay, I want to hear your 3 because I've got 3 as well.
All right, you Muto, Tanahashi roll, Tommy Dreamer.
Yep, agree with that.
All right, so I think the role for this guy is the Chono, not the Chono, the Hashimoto Shibata role, and I think it's Taz.
Where's Taz?
It's Taz.
Yes, I agree with that as well.
So this is where it gets tricky. All right, Raven doesn't count.
Johnny Polo.
Johnny Polo, Scotty Flamingo.
Oh fuck no.
Yeah. So
which role we got? Chono.
So for the Chono role, all right. I do have someone in mind here. I'm just talking out of process here. Shane Douglas doesn't count. He was WCW Tag Champ before he ever came to ECW. So
yeah, Ric Flair's.
If Shane Douglas counted, he would be in the Tanahashi Muto role.
Yeah.
So Raven doesn't count. Shane Douglas doesn't count. This is where it gets interesting. Does being a star in Japan doing death matches before ECW count? I think it does.
Who are we talking?
We're talking Sabu here. I don't think.
Yeah, he did have a long run there, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think Sabu counts.
Okay.
So, for the fucking Chono role, it's Sandman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right, last one, TNA.
What era TNA are we talking?
Let's just say TNA overall, homegrown.
Okay, I've got 3.
Okay. So this is where it gets tricky. I say, if you worked in WCW, no matter how small of a role and how towards the end it was, it doesn't count.
Okay, I already know 2 who you're going to scratch off from that.
So that rules out Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
That rules out AJ Styles.
Yep.
All right. And then, because as soon as you say TNA, my first 3 thoughts are the fucking unbreakable 3-way. Daniels, Joe, and AJ. Joe doesn't count. He fucking was ROH champ for like 2 years before he came to TNA. Okay. Yeah. Who else was the face of TNA? Well, it's Jeff Jarrett. Obviously doesn't count. pretty much had like 2 careers before he even started TNA.
Are we just going to get through the first 11 here of does not count?
Yeah, okay. Another fucking poster boy for TNA. Sting doesn't count, obviously. Christian Cage doesn't count. Kurt Angle doesn't count. So this is where I think it's actually harder than I thought. But do you go Bobby Roode?
Bobby Roode did have a long and good career in TNA. I'd say yes to Bobby Roode.
Yeah, and does he fit that top musketeer role?
Let's see who else you've got first.
All right. So obviously when Bobby Roode comes to mind, someone else does. That's
Are
James.
You talking the Killer Queen?
The Killer Queen himself, James Storm.
Yeah, that's also a good shout.
All right, so now we're just gonna brainstorm here. Homegrown TNA stars, right?
I've got two that you sort of overlooked there.
Okay, go on.
Gail Kim and Abyss.
WWF Women's Champion before she came to TNA.
Really?
She was WWF Women's Champion the night after Mania 2002.
Oh, okay. I always forget that for some reason.
Abyss, member of the embassy in ROH before TNA.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. No, I was getting ready to scratch them off for you. Awesome Kong, career in Japan before TNA, just so you know. Yeah, it gets hard here. Like, I think, like, Jay Lethal, fucking ROH. Yeah. So this is why I think James Storm's a shoo-in. And this is why I think the fucking Three Musketeers are Bobby Roode, James Storm, and Eric Young.
Okay.
And the next closest thing I can think of is fucking ROH, man.
Oh, damn, it is too. Next closest?
The next closest I can think of is fucking Magnus.
Brutus Magnus?
Is fucking Brutus Magnus is the next one I can think of.
Is there any women, like, good women that they built up through their division?
I mean, Velvet Sky, Angelina Love.
I'm not putting one of those as a Musketeer of TNA. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm going back and watching that.
Oh, fuck.
Oh?
Mickie James is a Musketeer.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Because she debuted in TNA in like 2002 as Alexis Lurie.
Okay, I completely forgot about that part of the career.
Yeah. Before she ever went to WWE, she had a short run in TNA. So technically.
So we got Mickie, James Storm.
I'm actually more comfortable having Eric Young in there than James Storm.
Okay, I think Mickie James is as well because she won't get pushed on the train tracks.
Exactly, yeah.
So okay, who we got? We got Bobby Roode.
Yep. That's the Tanahashi Muto.
Yeah. EY.
EY just because
Hashimoto?
I'm gonna say that he fits the yeah, let's put him in the Hashimoto Chono, the Hashimoto Shibata role. But
Mickie
I could
James?
also see EY being like the eccentric Nakamura type, Chono type.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Mickie is Masahiro Chono. Mickie is Shinsuke Nakamura. Fuck me, we could go all fucking day with this.
Oh, but don't worry, I'm gonna try to make a video out of this for YouTube. Okay. Last one.
Oh, come on.
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor. This is easy.
Is it though?
In my opinion, it is.
Okay. You've already listed off 3 when you said no to TNA.
Yeah, so you go Joe.
Obviously.
Yeah, 100% Joe.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, this is where it's like, does Danielson count?
Bryan Danielson?
Yeah. Because technically he had a developmental contract with the WWF in like 2000. So this is just to help explain why certain people are left off.
No, I'd say no then, based on what we've already done with everyone else.
Yeah. And this is where you go Jay Briscoe.
Yes. Okay, so we've got Joe.
And that's
Jay
your
Briscoe.
that's your Nakamura. That's your Chono is
Okay.
Jay Briscoe.
What do you put for Samoa Joe?
So this is with Joe. I go the Hashimoto Shibata role.
Yeah, and that leaves one more name.
And this is where you can pick a lot of people. Okay, sure, his run was huge in terms of like iconic, but it wasn't that long. And yes, it was his breakout, so he would count, but I don't think CM Punk makes it. I don't think Punk makes it.
Okay, what else have you got for me? I know, Matt Taven.
So go fuck yourself. Nah. So this is where I'm tossing up between two people.
Okay.
Nigel McGuinness
And
Jay Lethal.
who have we already got? We've got Joe and we've got Jay Briscoe.
Jay Briscoe.
Fuck.
And
as good as
feels
Nigel is.
Yeah.
They did call Jay. Go on.
It feels rude, by the way, to just like name Jay and not mention Mark, but come on now. Jay was world champ.
They did name Jay Lethal as the franchise of Ring of Honor. I'd say it'd have to be him.
It'd have to be him. And here's where I go, okay, here's a counter argument to the role Joe's in. Kevin Steen. And here's a counter argument to the role that I put Jay Briscoe in, El Generico.
Damn it. Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah. If you have fucking Jay Lethal, Steen, and Generico, I just thought of that just then. I was like, but I'm going off. Actually, no. When they name Musketeers, they don't know the longevity. So longevity doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, but I was like, off longevity, it's Briscoe, fucking Joe, and Lethal. But yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Quickly do Australia.
Oh my god, I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one.
Yeah.
I guess, well, in no order whatsoever, but just of 3 picks, number one. The Godfather, Davis Storm.
I was going to say Charles Wright. Yeah. Davis Storm for me goes in the Shibata Hashimoto role where it's like, he's fucking amazing. It doesn't happen without him, but he's the one that gets probably the least spotlight.
Okay. Number 2, Madison Eagles.
Yeah.
And is that the Chono role?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And then a third. Of Aussie wrestling. I mean, you could make the argument for Farley here and all that he's done, but you didn't know that was going to happen in that generation.
So this is where I've made it too vague, haven't I? By just saying Australia.
We're going early 2000s-ish, who are still influential in Aussie wrestling, I think, for our picks.
Well, in that case, I'm saying Brooksy.
Adam Brooks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. You can make the argument for probably someone like Slex, probably a few people out of RCW who we've overlooked.
I was gonna say like my 3 straight up is in the Muto fucking Tanahashi role. I've got Brooksy,
Yep, that's a good fit.
and in the Hashimoto Shibata role, I've got Slex, and in the Chono Nakamura role, I've got Rocky Monero.
That is really good. That's a really good fit.
Yeah. Just, I can't say enough about how much I fucking love Rocky Monero.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, he's older now. I get it. He's got to wind down. But fuck me, if any Australian wrestler should have been a worldwide superstar, it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, and you could almost say, fuck, the world's almost missing the boat on Slex now.
Yeah, he was on those NWA tryouts. He got the matches over on Impact that we'll talk about next week.
You just got to think like...
He was over in Ring of Honor.
I mean, Musketeers of Australians that crossed over to the worldwide scene.
Oh, man, that one is hard.
Buddy's in that number 1 role, right? Or is it Emma?
I'm thinking Emma.
Yeah.
Because she broke the ceiling. She kicked open the door. You go back 10 years, it is only Emma on NXT.
Yeah.
And you look today, we've got, I don't know, maybe half a dozen in Japan, in New Japan itself. We had Xena in Stardom. We've got half a dozen in AEW, Aussies and Kiwis. So you've got like Aussie Open over there as well. Another half dozen in the WWE system. A few in Impact. It is crazy to think, like 20 years ago when we were watching WWF, we'd have this many Aussies and Kiwis around the world.
Yeah. If we're doing like Aussies and Kiwis that crossed over, it's Jay White, 100%. If it's just the Aussies, well, it's Emma in the number 1 role.
Yep.
Buddy probably in that Chono Nakamura role, maybe.
Yep.
And then, fuck me, do you just go bang the Iconics? Farley. It depends if we're just doing Australia.
Gino,
you could do. Does Robbie make it?
Oh, that is a really good shout. I think we've overlooked because he's so affiliated with New Japan now. Yeah. Robbie is a really good shout.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Ray is the number 1.
Yeah.
Rhea is number 1. Then it's Buddy, and then it's Emma. Emma's in the Hashimoto Shibata role.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen without her. But not the biggest star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rhea probably... Oh, Rhea could fit in the Chono role as well. Rhea basically is Chono. That's nuts.
That's true.
Yeah. Tony Storm. Fuck. Yeah. No, you could just do... Australia's 3 Musketeers is probably 3 women. It's Rhea, Tony, and Emma. Fuck.
Yeah. Of the current generation, Rhea, Tony, Emma. Yeah. Of
like the biggest of all time to come out of Australia, it's probably those 3 that have the biggest effect.
Who do you put where?
You put Emma in the Hashimoto Shibata role. You put Tony in the Nakamura Chono role, and you put Rhea as the number 1 seed, the Muto Tanahashi role, although you could probably swap Tony and Rhea.
Yeah, that's also true. Oh, man. Yeah, good times. Okay, I think that's about it for this extended edition of the Wrap this week. With that, where can the good humans find you?
You can find me on Twitter at FreddyIsAlex. You can find us at WrestleOzStyle with an AUS on Instagram and Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. Search up Wrestling Ozstyle. You can find Chris at
I am Chris Funder on Twitter or or come watch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Chris Funder. You can go back and listen to the Wrestling All-Star Archive for free on SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, or using the RSS feed found in the show notes below for your podcast choice, including Apple. Nothing left to say but good day, and we'll speak to you next time.